Hello everyone, it's Miss Melissa. Since it's starting to get nice out, we're going to talk about the beautiful plants that we can see now in bloom. So let's get started. These are plants, and as you can see, there are so many different types of plants. If you go outside, you'll see so many plants from the grass, flowers, and trees. Some of you may even have a garden where you have veggie plants. But did you know that plants have the same basic parts? Let's find out what they are. Though we can see plants growing from the ground, did you know there are parts of the plant that start underground? Do you know what these parts of the plants are called? That's right, they're called roots. The roots are the parts of the plant that are in the ground, and all plants have them. The roots help plants do three things, and that's to help the plants get water, get nutrients or food from the ground, and to keep the plant in the ground. There are still more parts to explore, so let's keep going. After we have the roots, we have the stem of the plant. The stem of the plant can be above ground, but some can also be underground. The stem of the plants help the plant by supporting the plant leaves, flowers, and fruits, a place to keep extra fruit, create new tissue, and it also acts like a straw that helps bring water from the roots all the way up to the flower above. Sometimes these stems can also have leaves. Let's find out more about them. These are the leaves. We can see leaves of a plant like when we see them on trees. When we see leaves, we can sometimes see them change color. But did you know there's a very important process that takes place inside of the leaves? Do you know what it's called? That's right, everyone. In the leaves, it's their jobs to make food. When leaves make food, it's actually called photosynthesis, which helps the plant to grow. Let's find out the last stage of the plant. Once a plant is old enough, sometimes the plant will create a flower. However, not all plants will have flowers. Other times they can have fruit, but again, it's not all the time. A flower not only looks pretty, but flowers are also very important for helping plants make seeds. Seeds are super important for plants because they are like the baby of the plants that one day will grow up to be big plants. So now that we're done going over our plant parts, let's start our project.
Hello everyone! Now that we're done learning about the plants, let's get started for our activity. For this activity, you're going to need paper, markers, glue, scissors, and if you have some craft sticks, stickers, and glitter. It's up to you what you want to put on this because we're going to be making our own flower. So let's get started. So what you're going to do first is you're going to grab a piece of paper or even a scrap piece of paper and you're going to write root, stem, leaves, and flowers. Those are all the parts of the flowers that we already learned. So you'll have something that looks like this. I used a scrap piece of paper or you can use a whole piece of paper, it's up to you. And then you're going to put that on the side because we're not going to need it until later. So make sure you keep an eye on it. Then you're going to take a bigger piece of paper and you can use any piece of paper that you want. It doesn't even need to be this big. And you're going to take your marker and you're going to draw a line. This line can be anywhere. So this is the line I drew. So the bottom part is where we're going to put our roots and the top part is where we're going to put the rest of our flower. Once you've decided which part of your paper is the top part and which one is the bottom part, it's now time to draw some roots. So remember, the roots is the part of the flower that is underground. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line, and then from that line, you're going to draw little lines. So you'll have something that looks like this. And you're going to draw a bunch of them on the bottom. And if you're doing this along with me, or if you're doing this with your friend, or with your mom and dad, or with your brother and sister, just remember that it's all going to look different. It's okay if it doesn't look like mine, or if yours doesn't look like theirs. That's a-okay. Because as long as you like it, that's all that matters. So I drew a bunch of different roots right here. And remember to leave some space because we're going to label all of these parts. So here are our roots. And you could also draw a lot of roots like this and make more than one flower. But for myself, I'm going to draw one flower. But for you, you can do as much as you want. All right, guys, so now we have our roots. So remember, our roots are at the bottom, so they're underground. So what comes after the roots, guys? That's right, we have a stem, and our stem is going to be above ground. But remember, there are some flowers that can have stems under the ground, but for us, we're going to draw our stems above. So to make our stems, you're gonna grab 2 craft sticks. If you don't have craft sticks, that is a-okay, do not worry, because you can always use markers, you can use paint, you can use whatever you want to make your stems. It's your flower, so you can make whatever you guys want. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your craft stick, and I'm gonna use a glue stick, and you're going to put some glue at the end of your craft stick. Just like this. And remember, if you need help, make sure to have your mommy and daddy nearby. And you're going to place the other craft stick right on top of it. Okay? So you'll have one long craft stick, and this will be our stem. If you don't have craft sticks, that's okay. You can just draw a long line on your piece of paper, and I can show you it right here, because I'll just put my craft stick over it. So you're just gonna draw, make sure to follow your root, a long line like that, and that will be your stem. And see how I have these tiny ones here? You can draw more lines, but again, I'm just gonna make one. So that will be our stem. Then, once it's all dry and connected, you're going to put some glue on the back of it and stick it on to your paper. And if you don't have a long piece of paper, you can just use one craft stick. That's a-okay. So mine looks like this. So I covered up the line I just made. And this will be our stem. All right, guys, so this is what we have so far. We have roots and we have a stem. So what comes after stem, guys? That's right, we have leaves. So I'm gonna draw mine on with markers, but you could always paint yours on. You could always draw yours on a different piece of paper, cut it out, and then glue it down here. But for me, I am just going to draw it. And you can make your leaves look however you want, because the leaves look different on each and every flower. So I am actually going to take a purple marker, and I'm going to draw my leaf. And remember, guys, my leaf is going to look different than your leaf, and that's a-okay. As long as you guys like it, and as long as you guys are having fun, that's all that matters. And there are actually plants that have lots of leaves, like trees. So I'm gonna draw lots of leaves on my stem. You guys could draw lots of leaves too, or you can just draw one. It's up to you guys. Okay, I'm gonna draw one more. And they're gonna look like ovals. And here I have my leaves. So look, we have roots, we have stems, and now we have leaves. And do you guys remember what important jobs leaves do? That's right, they create food. And what is that process called? Good job, it's called photosynthesis. Good job, everyone. So now it's time to make our flower. All right, guys, so if we look at our piece of paper, now we have roots, we have a stem, and we have leaves. Now it's time to make our flower. But remember, sometimes there are plants that don't have flowers. Maybe they don't carry flowers, and that's okay, but this one that we're going to make today has a flower. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper like this one, and you're going to draw a circle. And a circle doesn't have to be perfect, just like this. And then you're going to cut it out. I already cut one out before, so you'll have something that looks like this. Then you're going to grab your glue stick, and you're going to put a bunch of glue on there. So once you're done putting on the glue, you're going to grab your circle that I have here, and you're going to put it on the top of your flower, just like this. And then you're going to draw some leaves on the flower, some petals. And remember, your flower is going to look different from mine, and that's okay. As long as you try your best and you like it, that's all that matters. So I'm going to draw some petals on my flower. And you can draw petals too, or you can just keep it the way you have it. It's up to you, guys. Okay, so this is the flower that I have left. It looks a lot like a sunflower. So look, we have our roots, we have our stem, we have our leaf, and now we have our flower. And in the middle, because it looks like a sunflower, I'm going to put some dots because that's going to be some seeds. And remember, seeds are also very important because those seeds are going to grow up into being a big flower just like this one. So what you're going to do now is remember that piece of paper where I had you write down root, stem, leaves, and flowers? Well, now we're going to cut it up, put some glue on it, and you're going to stick it on in the correct place on your piece of paper, just like I did here. So we have our roots, we have our stem, we have our leaves, and we have our flower. And those are all the parts of the flower. Well, I hope you guys had a lot of fun today and you learned something new. Bye, everyone!